What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of NBA and college basketball action here on Thursday, January 22nd. I'll give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under on each game. We're going to break down the biggest college basketball games of the night. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So as a thank you to me, take that 10th of a second and slam that like button. It really helps get the videos promoted out there on YouTube. It's a big part of keeping me motivated to make these videos every single solitary day. Also, take a second and check below and see if you are subscribed to the channel. That'll keep you from missing these videos that I'm putting out every single day and lets me see the channel keep on growing. And channel growth is a big health metric here on YouTube. So definitely keep on hitting that subscribe button if you're new around here. Really appreciate all the new subscribers. I've been getting a lot of new subscribers here recently, so it's been great to see. Also, if you're a huge... No, what the fuck? Also, get down there in the comments and let me know anything you want to ask about, any picks you're looking at today, any of the picks that I'm making, these videos, anything you see here. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I read and usually respond to every single comment I get every single day. So huge shout out to everybody down there in the comments. Really love to be able to welcome in new viewers, anybody that's new to the channel. Get down there in the comments. I'm more than likely to say hi, or at least give you some sort of acknowledgement. So big shout out to everybody that's down in the comments. A big shout out to all my YouTube channel members out there. Definitely make sure that you are checking the pinned comment throughout the day. That's where you'll find my favorite picks from these videos every single solitary day. Those are the ones I like the absolute most. That's where you'll find my massive lock and my underdog of the day. So definitely get in there and check that out, and check back a couple of times throughout the day on that pinned comment, just in case there end up being any changes with late breaking injury news coming in, especially on the NBA. That could happen any time. In terms of our results for yesterday, it's still a little bit early on. We have cashed 2 plays already there, both on college basketball. Did break out on the Hornets at plus 2.5. Charlotte could not come through for us. Made a very valiant effort to launch a late game comeback, but the fact they shot like 10% from 3 in the game, LaMelo Ball went 0 of 10 from 3 in this game. Like, it was just a horrifyingly bad shooting night there from Charlotte, and they still managed to almost get us the cover in this game, getting only 2.5 points. So that was a tough loss. We still have the Thunder live. That game has just now tipped off. We cashed Maryland plus 19.5. A very nice second half there from the Terrapins gets us the cover in this one thanks to the hook. The Terrapins come away with that 70-89 loss, but we're catching just enough points to get the job done in that one, thanks to that hook. So we'll definitely take it. We also cashed Texas plus 7.5. They get the 80-85 loss to get us the cover there at Kentucky. Swain was a monster. He put up 29 points, and we cashed this one despite the Longhorns shooting only 11% from 3 in that game. So not a great shooting night, but still good enough to keep things very close against a Kentucky squad that's not exactly having the best season. We still have Virginia Tech plus 3.5 live as our dog of the day. We still have the Pistons live on the money line as our massive lock of the day. Some late breaking news there on Cade Cunningham being scratched from that game, but we still like Detroit enough to ride with them. They're up 5 points heading into the fourth quarter, so let's hope that they can hold on. Premium is very early on over there. Cash Texas plus 6.5 over there is a premium play. We also have tons of great stuff cooking out there across the whole premium slate. A lot of late hockey action, a 3-unit play there on the Capitals. So we'll see if that can all work out over there on the premium side. But let's go ahead, guys. Let's dive in. We got a big NBA slate to cover. And first up, we're going to be talking about a team we just talked about. We've got the Charlotte Hornets going on the road to taking the Orlando Magic. The Hornets come into this game, like we were saying, fresh off a very frustrating night there. They were playing at home, and now they have to travel from Charlotte to Orlando, so not a horrible travel spot, but also not ideal. In that loss to the Cavaliers, they just could not throw it in the ocean. It was terrible. They end up shooting 17% from 3, 8 of 47 from long range. They don't do a great job staying attached on the boards. They play great defense there against Cleveland, making just pretty much everything very tough on them, and made things really tough on the Cleveland bench. 11 points from Colin Sexton off the pine was definitely helpful, but just a terrible shooting night. Knuppel, 2 of 10 from 3. LaMelo Ball, what did he go? 0 of 10 from 3, 1 of 5 from 3 from Miles Bridges. Like, just a terrible shooting night. So we'll see if they can bounce back. Obviously, we don't have an updated injury report. Their current game just ended like 30 seconds ago. So we'll see who they have available. Really don't have any indication that they should be missing anyone for this game as they head to Orlando to take on the Magic. Now, Orlando, they have not had the easiest season. They did win that game in Berlin with a big comeback, but then they lost in London, losing 126-109 against Memphis. So an up and down trip there across the pond. They didn't really have any answers for Ja Morant there in the London game, so that's got to be a little bit concerning. Maybe a bigger concern, Paolo Banchero just continues to flounder. 7 of 20 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. He did have 8 boards and 9 assists, so he was chipping in out there, but Franz Wagner didn't look great, albeit, he's still getting his legs under him. Wendell Carter Jr. played well. Bane, 4 of 12 from the field for only 11 points in 37 minutes. Not a great day from him. So things still really need to come together for this Orlando Magic team. It has not been an easy season. They've dealt with lots of injuries. They'll still be missing Jalen Suggs for this game. Really no huge timetable on when he's going to be back from that MCL contusion, but they clearly miss him very, very much. So we'll see what they can do here without him. They're 7.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 229.5. Charlotte, they're 14-10 against the spread on the road, 8-1 this year against the spread on no rest, 7-10 against spread after a loss. They are 25-18 to the under. Orlando is 9-10 against the spread at home, 10-8 against spread after loss, 22-20 to the over. Guys, you're probably not going to be shocked to hear this, but I like the Charlotte Hornets here, getting 7.5 points quite a bit. I've been fairly low on the Orlando Magic after the first about week or maybe 2 weeks of the season. I think we see the Hornets keep this game very, very close and have the chance to potentially steal a win here. This is not a team that really tends to struggle in the second half of a back-to-back, and as long as there's no late-breaking injury news with a bunch of guys sitting out, I think the Hornets are in a great spot. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Houston Rockets traveling to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. The Rockets, they're 26-15 on the season. They're coming off that crazy 111-106 win over the Spurs. They made a huge comeback there in the fourth quarter to eventually get the win and cover in that one. Reed Shepherd actually led the team in scoring. He put up 21 points off the bench, went on an absolute heater there down the stretch, knocking down crazy threes, knocking down crazy layups, really kind of carrying the offense with Kevin Durant not having an easy time. He really seemed to struggle when Wembanyama was on him, which can't give the dude too much crap for that, but overall not necessarily a shining day out there for the Houston Rockets, who looked like they were in really bad shape until they just caught the heater of all heaters. They're shooting the ball in the fourth quarter. So they'll definitely take the win in that one. Got to feel pretty good. All the issues still remain. This team clearly lacking a solid point guard presence, but Reed Shepherd is at least a nice scoring punch there at point guard coming off the bench. Amen Thompson with the ball in his hand is not looking great. They are healthy for this game. That's a big deal. A Sengun ready to go, KD ready to go, everybody healthy and ready to get after it. So that is a big help here. They are going on the road, so not always the easiest thing to do. They're taking on a 76ers team that's 23-19 on the season. They're coming off a 6-point loss there against the Phoenix Suns, which we were on the Suns in that game, so we'll definitely take it. VJ Edgecombe actually led the team in scoring with 25 points in that game. That has to be at least kind of nice to see there for the 76ers. There was no Embiid in this game. Maxey, 20 points on 25 shots is not what you want to see. He's hit a few bumps in the road here recently. The bench actually looked okay, but with no Paul George and no Embiid, this wasn't necessarily the full strength 76ers. Kelly Oubre, 21 points there back in the starting lineup, shot 5 of 10 from 3. Having him back is a big deal for this team as well. Now looking at the injury report, for the 76ers, it's always the guys you expect. It's Paul George and Joel Embiid on there. Paul George, questionable due to left knee injury management. Joel Embiid is listed as probable due to right ankle injury management. So it sounds like Embiid will be back, which is pretty much what we expected for this game. Now looking at the numbers, the 76ers are 2.5-point underdogs here at home. We've got a total of 222.5. Houston is 12-11 against the spread on the road, 12-13 against the spread after a win, 21-19-1 to the under. Philadelphia, they're 10-13 against the spread at home, 13-5 against spread after a loss, 22-20 to the over. Being 13-5 against spread after loss definitely tells me something. This is not a team that is comfortable taking back-to-back losses. Give me the 76ers here getting 2.5 points. Having Embiid back is a big deal. I do expect Maxey to snap out of this problem here, the slump at some point very soon, and I think all that is going to add up to the 76ers having a pretty good time here at home. Houston's also in a big letdown spot after that crazy win. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Denver Nuggets heading to Washington to take on the Wizards. The Nuggets come into this game 29-15 on the season. They have lost 2 in a row, a loss against the Hornets and then a loss against the Lakers, so they're definitely in need of some spark, some bounce back. In that loss to the Lakers, they really had no answer for Luka. He put up 38 points against them. Jamal Murray maybe getting a little bit tired out there, but had a good game, 28 points, 10 of 21 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, and had 11 assists. He's doing everything he could, but this team is just stretched a little bit thin. They've had too many injuries at this point to just be able to absorb them and keep right on rolling. So we'll see what they can do in this one. The injury report for Denver continues to look about how you would expect. Jamal Murray on there, Aaron Gordon on there, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jonas Valanciunas on there as well. So a lot of injury issues. Murray dealing with that left hip issue. He is probable, so it sounds like he'll be in there. Aaron Gordon also listed as probable. He should be out there. Hardaway, probable as well. And Valanciunas, guys, dealing with that calf issue, is officially questionable for this game. So we'll see if he's able to make his way back. That would be a pretty big deal for this team that is still obviously, very, very much missing Nikola Jokic. They're going on the road to take on the Wizards, who are doing a really good job of losing basketball games here down the stretch. They're coming off a 110-106 loss there against the Clippers. That was the game that James Harden basically carried the Clippers. I'm not going to say single-handed, but he put up 36 points against the Wizards in that game. Washington, Sarr played great in that game. He had 28, 18 from Keyshawn George. He played well. Middleton, I'm not even sure what he's doing out there at this point. Trey Johnson had 15 points. Nothing amazing coming off the bench, really, so we'll see what Washington can put together in this one. They are playing at home, so that maybe helps a little bit, but Kulave being sidelined does not help. Middleton and Bagley both on the injury report as well. Middleton dealing with an illness is questionable, and Bagley is questionable due to an illness as well. So it sounds like they got something running through the locker room there in Washington. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They're getting 6.5 points at home. We've got a total of 231.5. Denver is 15-9 against the spread on the road this year, 9-5 against spread after a loss, 27-17 to the over. Washington is 9-11 against spread at home, 14-17 against spread after a loss, and they're a 500 over-under team. Not a game where I'm showing a lot of value on the total, but I really like the Nuggets here. I think they should be closer to 10-point favorites in this game. They are in a huge bounce-back spot. Playing this Wizards team is not going to be very similar to playing either the Lakers or the even the Charlotte Hornets, so definitely give me the Nuggets here to get the win and cover. Hey guys, before we jump in and break down the Golden State Warriors heading to Dallas to take on the Mavericks, I got to shout out the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. You can click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, guys, our premium members are getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, and college basketball picks. We've had a very, very solid run over there on the NHL side. It's been a great, great look. Hockey stuff is something I know nothing about. I'm not the premium handicapper over there at StumpTheSpread.com for NHL or UFC or NFL. All of that stuff is covered by our team of experienced cappers. Every single one of them has over a decade's worth of experience covering his given sport, and the amount of work, the amount of data points they're taking into consideration on every single one of those plays is truly astonishing. So you definitely want to get over there, check out all the premium stuff. It's a great time to dive in. So many sports going on right now. But if you're not willing to spend anything over there at StumpTheSpread.com, we have free stuff for you guys over there as well. There's a free pick every single day under the free picks tab. You definitely want to check that out. Cashed Mercer there yesterday as our free picks. That was a nice win with very little sweat there on the college basketball side as a free pick there under the free picks tab. And that free pick was not in the YouTube video. So you got to get over to StumpTheSpread.com to see those. Also, get on that free email list over at StumpTheSpread.com. That is a fantastic resource. Every single day there will be at least one free pick in that email. Oftentimes there's 2 or 3 free picks. There's tons of information on niche sports betting like golf. A big golf write-up went out very, very recently. Golf, PGA, all that stuff heating up this time of year, getting into the full swing of things, no pun intended. Also, all the niche sports are covered in those emails, guys. Tennis, golf, NASCAR, UFC, WNBA, you name it. It could potentially be in those emails, along with all the normal stuff like NBA, college basketball, NHL, you name it. So definitely get on that free email list. It's very easy to sign up. You just go to StumpTheSpread.com, click on that little login button. It'll prompt you to set up a free account. They're going to ask you for your name and your email address. That's it. You get one email straight to your inbox every single day, just jam-packed full of great sports betting information. So definitely make sure that you're getting in on that. It's very, very easy. Also, get over there to StumpTheSpread.com if you're interested in buying a Stump the Spread hoodie. We're selling those at cost right now, and it would be great to sell one of those. We still have not sold a single Stump the Spread hoodie yet since putting up the store, so somebody get over there and buy a Stump the Spread hoodie. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from me here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get their name on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here every single solitary day to one random YouTube channel member. So big shout out to all the channel members. Love doing those giveaways. The more channel members we get, the more giveaways we're going to do. So love doing those giveaways. Now let's go ahead and dive back in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and make sure you've gotten over to StumpTheSpread.com and gotten on that free email list. Now let's go ahead and dive back in. We've got a pretty interesting game, and this one's going to be on Amazon Prime. We've got the Golden State Warriors heading to Dallas to take on the Mavericks. The Mavs come into this game 18-26 on the season. They have won 3 in a row. Now 2 of those games were against the very short-handed, maybe not very, but at least slightly short-handed Utah Jazz. And then they went into Madison Square Garden and got the 114-97 win over the Knicks. They had the Knicks fans losing their minds. It was a great night out there for Cooper Flagg. He had 18 points, 7 boards, and 3 assists, but an even better night for Max Christie, who went 8 of 10 from 3. Klay Thompson continued to shoot the ball very, very well. Dallas shot 47% from 3 in that game. They kept things pretty close to even on the boards, which is a very impressive thing for them to have done against the Knicks. Big contributions coming off the bench, just up and down the roster, really. Everybody was playing pretty well out there. Shout out to Dwight Powell. Hope he's feeling okay. Karl-Anthony Towns was just attacking his groin area the entire night, which maybe that's a little bit on brand for Karl-Anthony Towns if you listen to the way, he kind of can tend to sound a little zesty from time to time. But anyway, the Knicks are in shambles. The Mavs are playing really, really, really well right now. Their injury report looks very good coming into this game, except for Daniel Gafford. He's on there looking like he's probably going to miss this game. He's technically questionable, but I'd be a little bit surprised to see him end up playing in this one. Now, the Warriors, they're not having a good time at all. They got to go on the road for this one. They're fresh off that 145 to 127 loss there against the Toronto Raptors, and that was a bit of a bloodbath, guys. The Raptors shot 62% from 3. Steph continues to be in a slump. He had only 16 points, and I would assume the deep, dark depression that's following the Jimmy Butler injury has to at least have something to do with this. Now, we did see Jonathan Kuminga go out there and score 20 points in 21 minutes. Maybe he'll start playing more, or maybe they'll be able to trade him. We did see Buddy Hield put up 25 points in 19 minutes off the bench. He was shooting the ball really, really well, but none of that was enough to keep up with the red-hot Raptors. Now, the Warriors obviously will be without Jimmy Butler for the rest of the season. Other than that, they come to this game fully healthy. So, looking at the numbers, the Mavericks are actually getting 3.5 points here at home. We got a total of 230.5 in this one. The Warriors are 8-13 against spread on the road, 10-9 against spread after a loss, 27-18 to the over. The Mavericks are 14-10 against spread at home, 7-10 against spread after a win, 25-19 to the under. I am going to lean a bit towards Dallas plus 3.5. The Warriors seem like they're in shambles. Seems like they're falling apart. I don't think I can put this game in the pinned comment necessarily because I don't really know. Like, at some point, Steph's going to emerge from this slump and go absolutely crazy. So if he goes out there and scores 50 to show everybody the Warriors aren't dead or something like that, that could mess this one up quite a bit. And the Mavs are in a bit of a regression spot, but still, I think Dallas plus 3.5 is the side you want. Rolling right along, we got the Chicago Bulls heading to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves. The Bulls come into this game 21-22 on the season. They've won 3 out of the last 4, including a blowout 138-110 win over an exhausted Los Angeles Clippers team. I'm not going to give the Bulls too much credit for that one because the Clippers were clearly just on their last legs, but we did like we saw from Buzelis. He played well. Vooch played well in this game. Kobe White had a great day, maybe his best day of the season, putting up 27 very efficient points. We liked what we saw from Herter, Trey Jones, and Dosunmu coming off the bench. This is all of a sudden looking like a very, very solid bench unit, and the Bulls at around 500 are definitely not messing around out there in the Eastern Conference. They're not going to be an easy out for anyone. We'll see what they can do once Josh Giddey gets back. It sounds like he's getting fairly close. He's officially questionable for this game. I would be a little bit surprised to see him out there for this one. But we'll have to wait and see. Other than that, they are fully healthy. As they head to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves, we have to be pretty tilted, coming off a 127-122 loss there at the Utah Jazz. The Timberwolves have now lost 3 straight games. They're obviously not, they haven't necessarily been at full strength for some of these games, but when you're wasting performances like Ant putting up 38 points in 39 minutes, I mean, I don't know. This team has no bench. Naz Reid's their only legitimate bench player. It's been very, very bleak other than him. But really, this team just doesn't have enough. They don't have enough. They let Nickeil Alexander-Walker get away, and now they are really, really in bad shape. So we'll see if they can find some sort of bounce back in this one. The injury report for the Timberwolves can be a little bit sketchy at times, but it is fully, fully clean for this one. Everyone rested and ready to go. So we'll see what they can do here. They're 9.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 238.5. The Bulls are 9-11 against the spread on the road, 11-9 against spread after a win, 23-20 to the under. Minnesota is 9-12 against spread at home, 9-7 against spread after a loss, and they're a 500 over-under team. I'm just not liking what I'm seeing from the Timberwolves bench at all right now, so I will take the Chicago Bulls here getting 9.5 points. Could Minnesota get a win in this one somehow, some way? Potentially. And maybe I'm being a little bit of a prisoner of the moment here of the Bulls getting some wins recently, but I definitely think Chicago can keep things very, very competitive in this one. Even if we see another, monster performance there from Anthony Edwards, or if Julius Randle pops off, I still think we see the Bulls keep this game very, very close thanks to their bench. Next on the docket, we're looking at the San Antonio Spurs heading to Utah to take on the Jazz. The Spurs are 30-14 on the season. They really, really blew that game against the Rockets their last time out. They were playing on back-to-back nights, so having some tired legs down the stretch makes sense. They missed a lot of threes down the stretch, but there were a lot of mistakes. We saw Champagny go nuts in the beginning of the game, finished up 8 of 16 from 3, had, I think, 3 3-pointers blocked there in the fourth quarter, at least 2 that I can vividly remember. It was a big implosion. Keldon Johnson played great defense against KD, but down the stretch, I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest, Harrison Barnes looks unplayable. I know he was only a -2 out there. He looks absolutely, positively unplayable. So yeah, I don't know if I don't know what they should do really, but they got to get healthy. They got to get Vassell back, and I think they need a little bit of rest. They need De'Aaron Fox to start playing like the real De'Aaron Fox, not the ghost of De'Aaron Fox, which is what we're seeing out there right now. And you got to be able to make at least 1 out of your 11 threes in the fourth quarter. But that was a pretty bleak performance down the stretch. They do take the loss, so we'll see if they got to bounce back in them. Vassell still going to be sidelined, dealing with that thigh issue. He is out for this game. Other than that, they're pretty healthy. Luke Hornet is also on the injury report. He gave him some pretty good minutes. He is questionable due to tightness in his left abductor. So I'll have to keep an eye on his injury report. The Spurs are going on the road in this one to take on the Utah Jazz, who are coming off a 127-122 win there over the Timberwolves. And guys, they won that game without Lauri Markkanen. Without Markkanen, we saw a big Ace Bailey game. He put up 20 points. Nurkic put up 16 points, 18 boards, and 10 assists, so posting a triple-double. And Keontae George, guys, 43 points. A monster performance. He looked amazing out there. Great stuff from the bench as well. Filipowski and Collier both playing amazing off the bench, putting up 11 and 18 points respectively. Very good work from this Utah Jazz team that's looking too good to really bottom out. I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to just sit Markkanen and Keontae George for the rest of the season somehow. I think the NBA will have a thing or two to say about that, but Utah putting in the work. Keontae George is on the injury report for this one. Markkanen as well. Keontae George is listed as questionable due to a left forearm strain. Smells like tanking to me, boys. Also, Markkanen, he's been ruled out for this game due to return to competition reconditioning. This 28-year-old just got wildly out of shape. I mean, he hasn't played since, 10 days ago. So he's in way too bad a shape to play in an NBA game. I would not be shocked to see fines coming in for the Utah Jazz if they continue these kind of shenanigans down the stretch, as they blatantly try to tank things out. The Jazz are getting 13.5 points in this game, and like I said, I expect both of their 2 best players to not play. We've got a total of 238.5. The Spurs are 10-11-1 against spread on the road. They're a 500 against spread team after a loss, 27-18 to the under. The Jazz are 15-7 against spread at home. They're a 500 against spread team after a win. They are 28-16 to the over. This game, guys, I'm going to have to lean slightly towards the Spurs just because the Jazz are sitting out Markkanen and Keontae George, but I do not have a ton of faith in it, honestly. This is going to be a stay-away spot for me. I don't trust the Spurs to put in the work to really earn a blowout in this one necessarily, and the only way that happens is if the Jazz just lay down and go away, which is not impossible. So we'll see what happens. The Spurs are in a bounce-back spot. Now headed into our last Amazon Prime game of the night and our second to last NBA game before we hop over and look at some college basketball. We've got the Los Angeles Lakers staying in LA to take on the the Lakers. They come into this game winners of 2 in a row. They desperately needed these wins. They took down the Raptors, and then they took down the pretty banged up the Denver Nuggets. Luka, a monster day, 38 points from him in that one, 11 of 12 from the free throw line, 13 points, 10 boards, nice triple-double. He was still a -2 out there, I will mention that. Jackson Hayes was a +16. He had 9 points, 19 for LeBron, 15 for Marcus Smart. The Lakers shoot 40% from 3. Luka's long ball wasn't necessarily going nuts, but he was getting all the calls that he needed to be successful, and the Lakers do come away with a win. So we'll see if they can keep this momentum going. They are very healthy coming into this game, so that helps at least somewhat. But the problem for the Lakers this year has been their lack of defense. That's been the big problem. If they are not going to play defense, they are not going to have a very good time, and they're not a team that's been playing a ton of defense. So we'll see what they can scrape together here as they go on the road to take on the Clippers, who come into this game fresh off a 138-110 blowout loss there at the Chicago Bulls. Now, that was basically a scheduled loss. Harden did play in that game. I honestly think he should have probably just sat it out. He ended up with 24 points on 25 shots in 31 minutes. That was just brutal. This Clippers team was way exhausted for that one. So we're going to give them a little bit of a pass. We'll see what they can put together in this one going up against the Lakers. Now, the big question constantly for the Clippers is, will Kawhi play? He is officially questionable for this game, which gives us very little information. It is Kawhi Leonard. However, the spread in this one is the Clippers -3. That tells me the odds makers are very much expecting Kawhi Leonard to end up playing in this game. Other than him, the Clippers are as healthy as we've grown accustomed to seeing them be this season. Like I said, the Clippers are 3-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 223.5. The Lakers are 12-10 against spread on the road, 12-13 against spread after win, 25-17 to the over. The Clippers are 9-11 against spread at home, 10-13 against spread after loss, 22-21 to the under. Guys, under the impression that Kawhi will play in this game based on the spread and based on him being questionable, I will take the Clippers here at -3. I think they're by far the better team. The Lakers don't play any defense. They don't have anybody that can or will, it's kind of interesting which one of those is true, guard Kawhi, definitely, or James Harden. I think that all spells a ton of trouble for this team, for the Lakers here on the road. Give me the Clippers here at -3. Next up, guys, we got the Miami Heat heading to Portland to take on the Trailblazers. The Heat are 23-21 on the season. They're coming off a nice little 130-117 win in Sacramento. They haven't been killing it necessarily down the stretch, but we have liked a lot of what we've seen from Bam. He put up 25 points there against the Kings in 30 minutes. He played great. Powell put up 22. Wiggins put up 19. 15 and 13 from Fontecchio and Jaime Jaquez Jr. there coming off the bench. They shot 50% from three. They did a very reasonable job there on the boards. And Bam re-emerging as a scorer here is a big, big deal to me. We'll see what they can do here down the stretch. Pretty interesting stuff from this bench at times. So there's a lot to like if you're a Miami Heat fan. They still have improvements to be made. Tyler Hero's been missing time. Maybe that's a net positive for this team. That is an interesting question to have to see what's going to be up. He's going to be sidelined there for a little bit. Kelly Ware dealing with that hamstring issue is officially questionable for this one. They're going on the road to take on a very interesting and very tough opponent here in the Portland Trailblazers, who despite a slew of injuries are 22-22 on the season. They're fresh off a 117-110 win there in Sacramento. Denny Adjeva put up a 30-piece. He looked great out there. Clingan, oh my God, Donovan Clingan, 21 points, 17 rebounds. A monster night from him. We loved what we saw from Caleb Love off the bench. He was a +14. They shoot 25% from three in this game and still get the win. Very, very exciting stuff, honestly, if you're a Portland Trailblazers fan. Now, well, the team they beat was the Kings. Let's not overreact too much, but when this team is healthy, it looks very, very good. We do see several injury concerns there for him, though. Drew Holiday is questionable there with that calf issue. Jeremy Grant is questionable there with that Achilles tightness that he's been dealing with throughout the season, and other miscellaneous injuries have this team a little bit on edge, and I'm a little bit surprised to see them 2.5-point favorites here at home. We got a total of 240.5. Miami is 12-10 against the spread on the road, 10-12 against spread after win, a 500 over/under team. Portland is 14-8 against the spread at home, 11-10 against spread after win, and a 500 over/under team as well. I don't think we have to be too scared here, the Portland Trailblazers. This number makes me think that Drew Holiday is probably going to play in this game. Maybe Jeremy Grant as well. That makes a big, big difference. Give me the Portland Trailblazers here playing at home as a small lean. Now, guys, hopping over to look at some college basketball action here on what is a little bit of a thin slate here on Thursday. We've got some good games to cover still, though. First up, right out of the gates, we got the South Florida Bulls going on the road to taking the UAB Blazers. Now, the Bulls come into this game 11-7 on the season. They're coming off of a tough 1-point loss there against Wichita State. That was a bit of a heartbreaker. It knocked South Florida down to 3-2 in conference play, and definitely lost to a team they, I'm sure, think they should have beat. This has been one of the most dynamic teams in the country in terms of total offensive output. I mean, they're scoring over 90 points per game. Their pace really leads to a lot of great opportunities. Their rebounding numbers are also very, very high. This is the second time they faced UAB this season. They lost a 109-106, just absolute thriller of a double overtime game there earlier in the season. So we'll see what they can do in this one. They're going on the road, so UAB will be at home. The Blazers, they're fresh off a 99-77 beatdown at the hands of Tulsa. That was not a great look. Tulsa has been a bit better this season, but UAB has been much, much worse than what we're used to seeing traditionally. This team is 30th in the nation rebounding. That's nice, but their defensive numbers are very poor. Their offensive numbers are not where they need to be for the kind of pace they're playing at, so not a ton to love right now for UAB. The odds makers have the Blazers getting 2.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 166.5 in this game. USF, they're 3-2 against the spread on the road. They are 10-7 to the over. UAB, they're 5-5 against the spread at home. 10-8 to the under. Guys, I will take South Florida here going on the road. I think the odds makers are telling us which team to take in this one. I think they're going to be out for some pretty serious revenge. They're also, playing pretty well at the moment, so I think South Florida is the way I want to go in this one. You could also maybe talk me into over here, but that seems a little bit sketchy. Next on the docket, we got the Wisconsin Badgers heading to Penn State to take on the Nittany Lions. The Badgers, they're 13-5 on the season. They're winners of 4 in a row, looking very, very good. Their last game was a little bit more competitive than you would think. I mean, they only won by 9 there over Rutgers, but beating Minnesota, beating Michigan, and beating UCLA over your last 4 is a very, very nice run. We're loving what we're seeing from Nick Boyd, putting up nearly 20 points and 4 assists per game. He's shooting 48% from the field, nothing wrong with that. Nolan Winter is shooting 60% from the field and scoring 15 per game. This team isn't a juggernaut on the boards necessarily, but their defensive numbers are decent. Their offensive numbers are very, very good. So there's a lot to like right now about the Wisconsin Badgers, who are 5-2 in the Big Ten. They're going on the road to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions, who are 9-9 on the season. They're 0-7 in conference play. They've lost their last 5 in a row, losing to Illinois, Michigan, Purdue, UCLA, and then their last time out, a game that could have been a bounce back for them, they lose 96-73 at Maryland. So not a ton of great stuff here. I mean, Caden Mingo leads the team, 15 points, 4.5 assists. Not bad numbers, but their rebounding numbers are truly just like startlingly bad. This is a terrible team on the glass. Their defensive numbers aren't great either. They're obviously not putting up a ton of points, so we'll see what they can do. They are at home in this one. They do have a decent home crowd. Maybe that will help. They're only getting 5.5 points here at home, though. We've got a total of 159.5. Wisconsin's 2-1 against the spread on the road. They've shown they can do some good stuff on the road. Penn State, they're 4-7 against the spread at home, 9-9 to the over/under. This isn't a spot where I'm showing a ton of value on either part of the total, but in terms of a side, maybe I'm walking into it here. This line is a bit fishy, but I will take Wisconsin here at -5.5. They're just by so much the better team in this spot. I know Penn State's played some decent games against some really good teams, but I don't think this is going to be one of those spots. Even with Wisconsin, I mean, are they in a big look? No, they're not even in a big look-ahead spot either. They play Penn State, and then they're at home against USC. So definitely give me the Wisconsin Badgers here at -5.5. Next up, guys, we got the Quinnipiac Bobcats heading to Mount St. Mary's to take on the Mountaineers in some MAAC action. Quinnipiac, they're 13-7 on the year, 6-3 in conference play. They're fresh off of a crazy 98-92 win over Manhattan. This team, I mean, they needed that win to snap a 2-game losing streak, losing to St. Peter's and Merrimack. But St. Peter's and Merrimack are pretty solidly the 2 best teams in the MAAC this year, so I'm not going to give them too much trouble for that. Amari Monroe has looked good this year. We've seen Asim Jones. He's been good. But this team is pretty weak on the boards and not necessarily a juggernaut offensively. But we'll see what they can do here against Mount St. Mary's, a team that should be around their same level in terms of conference play success, maybe even a level below, because the Mountaineers are 8-12 on the season. They are currently 4-5 in conference play. They have won 2 in a row, going on the road and taking down Canisius and going on the road to take down Niagara, but Niagara and Canisius are not very good. This squad really wants to pull you down in the mud, wants to play a low-scoring, defensive-minded, possession-oriented kind of game. They're 402nd in the nation in total offense. Yikes. Their rebounding numbers aren't bad for a team that plays at their pace, but this Mount St. Mary's team doesn't really wow me too much. Looking at the numbers, they're getting 4.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 147.5. Quinnipiac, they're 6-4 against the spread on the road, 11-8 to the under. Mount St. Mary's, they are 3-3 against the spread at home, 12-7 to the under. I honestly don't have much of a lean on the total in this game in general, guys. On the side in this game in general, I love the total here. I think this is a fantastic spot to take under 147.5. This number is way too big. I think offense is going to be at an ultra premium in this game. Not a lot of pace out there in this one at all. Not a game I'd be excited to watch, but definitely one I'm excited to get something down here on the under. Rolling right along, we've got the Arkansas State Red Wolves heading to Georgia Southern to take on the Eagles. The Red Wolves, they're 12-7 on the season. They're 4-3 in Sun Belt play. They have lost 2 in a row, losing at South Alabama and at Troy. Now, Troy, they're the best team in the conference for sure. South Alabama, right there along the same level as Arkansas State. So maybe the Red Wolves are in a little bit of a bounce back spot. They are a very good team offensively, and it's pretty impressive to put up 83 or more points per game without a go-to leading scorer, but they're making it happen. Their rebounding numbers are good, but this team just plays such little defense. Like, they gave up 99 points to Troy and 91 to South Alabama. You have a really hard time winning college basketball games when you're giving up that many points. So we'll see if they can figure some stuff out defensively here as they go on the road to take on Georgia Southern. Now, the Eagles, they're 5-2 in Sun Belt play. They're coming off a tough loss there against Coastal Carolina. Definitely one they wish they could have back. They lost that game by 4 points, playing at home against a team that's only 4-4 in conference play. Spud Webb has been good for them this season. 16 points, 3 assists, shooting 52% from the field. This team is in the top 70 nationally in total offense. Their rebounding numbers, though, do not get me too excited. They're not a great rebounding team. That could be a bit of a problem here against Arkansas State. We'll see. Their defense is also not great, but they really like to get up and down. Georgia Southern, they're getting 2 points in this matchup. We've got a total of 173.5. Arkansas State is 6-5 against spread on the road, 10-6-1 to the over. Georgia Southern, they're 4-3 against spread at home, 10-8 to the over. This is a close game, guys. I probably am going to take the 2 points or maybe take Georgia Southern here on the money line since they are playing at home. I just don't have that much faith in Arkansas State, and the Red Bulls are playing their third straight road game in a stretch where they're going to play 4 road games in a row, so that all seems like a very big ask to me. I think you could take Georgia Southern here with the 2 points or even take them on the money line. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Missouri State Bears going on the road to taking the New Mexico State Aggies out there in the Conference USA. Missouri State, they're 10-8. This is their first year in the Conference USA, and they're 4-3 so far in conference play. They are coming off back-to-back losses. They lost at Western Kentucky pretty handily, and then continued the road trip to head to Mount St. Mary's, to Middle Tennessee, where they would eventually lose by 3. That was a bit of a heartbreaker. They definitely had their chances in this game. Keith Pellick, he's been good this season, 18 points, 4 assists. Maybe not the most efficient shooter ever, but he's what's really kept the Bears afloat in this season. They're in the mid 250s in terms of points per game. Their defense isn't great. Their rebounding isn't great. So this is squarely a middle of the road Missouri State team, if you ask me. We'll see what they can do here on the road, taking on the New Mexico State Aggies, who are 10-7 on the season. They're only 3-4 in conference play. They do come into this one fresh off a win at Delaware, but Delaware, they are really, really, really bad. They lost to Liberty and Middle Tennessee, so, there's some similarities here to Missouri State. We do like what we see from Jamel Jones. He's put up a good season so far. Their rebounding numbers are okay. Their defense, though, is pretty solid. I have to give them credit where credit is due there for their defense. So we'll see what they can do here. They are at home. They're 5.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 144.5. Missouri State's 3-4 against the spread on the road, 8-7 to the under. New Mexico State, they're 4-1 against spread at home, 9-5 to the over. I could definitely wrap my head around over 144.5 in this game. I think there'd be plenty of points. I do also think that leads to New Mexico State getting the win and cover. I do think they're the better team. I think they've got more talent on this roster. They should be able to slow down Missouri State. They'll be just fine on the boards in this game as well. So give me the New Mexico State Aggies here playing at home. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Long Beach State Beach. They're going on the road to take on the Cal State Fullerton Titans. Now, Long Beach State, they're 8-11 on the season, got off to a really rocky start to the year, but they are 4-3 out there in the Big West so far. So conference plays went a bit better. They're coming off a nice win at Cal State Northridge. So that was a well-played game. They went 80-87. They beat Bakersfield. They beat UC Riverside, but we'll see what they can do here against, Cal State Fullerton. This has been a little bit, a very similar level team. I mean, Gavin Sykes has been very good here for the Beach this season. We're liking what we're seeing just in general for them offensively, at least recently. Now, over the course of the season, there have definitely been some ups and downs, but I have really been liking what I'm seeing from Long Beach State here over their last couple games. Cal State Fullerton, the Titans, they come into this game 3-5 in conference play. They're fresh off back-to-back losses, losing at UC Davis and then losing at UC Riverside. So yeah, not exactly great losses. I guess not the end of the world, but this team has not been great. Their leading scorer is Joshua Wardy, scoring 14 points per game, shooting 43% from the field. We do like how the Titans like to get out and run, but their defense is so bad. Their rebounding is also very, very poor. So we'll see if pace and offense can save them in this game. They're 4.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 162.5. Long Beach State, they're 6-3 against the spread on the road, 12-4-1 to the over. Cal State Fullerton, they are 3-3 against the spread at home, and they're a 500 over-under team. I could see this potentially being a high-scoring game, but over 162.5 feels like a very big ask. In terms of a side, I will lean just a bit towards Long Beach State here. They've got the momentum on their side. They're playing quite a bit better. I think they're the more well-rounded team offensively and defensively, so if they can deal with the pace or inflict their pace of play, those 4.5 points might be in very good shape in this one, but I don't think this game's going to make it anywhere near the pinned comment. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Hopefully it'll bring you good luck on all of your bets out there. I know it'll do a ton to get my videos promoted out there across YouTube and to keep me motivated to grind these videos out every single day. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, hopefully this year, so really appreciate any help you guys can give me to get to that number. Share the video out there, show it to your friends, something like that, and let me know in the comments any questions you have about today's slate or anything else you see out here. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I really appreciate every single one of you that watches these videos. Big shout out to the YouTube channel members. Make sure you guys are getting over to stumpthespread.com, checking out the premium picks over there. Looks like it could be a decent night cooking out here on Wednesday and Thursday, actually coming up, looking like a very good day as well. Certainly get over there and check out all the free stuff. Get on that free email newsletter. And guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.